Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming up with another video. Happy June, everyone. Happy June. I don't have a lot of time to talk. I'm just going right down to 7-Eleven, grab the stuff that I need, and come back. Still got food on the table, but I got to pay them. It's that day, and I didn't take care of everything yesterday. So, yeah, feeling pretty good, man. Just trying to get my mind wrapped around all the different financial gymnastics that need to be done so that I can get my cell phone paid for today, and then from there get my room reserved for next Monday, pay these people right now. But the cell phone thing, they're gonna be taking 72 out tomorrow. So it's a lot of different things that I need to be able to balance, and if I do it just right, it shouldn't be a problem. If I don't do it just right, it could be a bit of a hiccup. So that's really what I'm dealing with right now. Just trying to focus and balance things out to the best of my ability. And man, I mean, all things considered, it's a pretty good day. Weather's good, energy's good. Just trying to, if anything, just work on consistency starting the month of June. You know what I mean? Doing all these different things in life. You want to definitely find yourself not taking any steps backwards, but also not putting so much pressure on yourself to maintain things that you fatigue your mind and your spirit. And so that's kind of what it is for me. It's a balance to say, okay, I've been doing really good in some areas, start the year, now that we're halfway through the year, and not as good in other areas that I'd like to work on. Maybe areas I feel like I've taken some steps back, exercise and getting out and stuff like that. But it's not like I've been sitting around doing nothing. I've just been funneling my energy into other things. So I'm not overly pleased with my overall assessment of my half-year point, but I'm very thankful. You know, this morning it's funny because all this financial gymnastics that had to be done for all these different things. And, it's one of those situations where I was really stressing a little bit. Not really stressing, but like saying, man, my savings is dwindling like from where it was. And I made some poor decisions, and my money should be much better than what it is right now based on just doing the wrong things with my money over the last couple of, maybe year or so. Having, with finances not increasing, but bills getting more expensive, I haven't done the greatest job of managing my money. And I was thinking about, man, my savings are going to be in a space that I'm not comfortable with after what needs to be done this week. And I opened up my account and saw that it was doing much better because where I had invested in just happened to be up 15% today. So everything I needed to take out today is essentially profit. And I just felt like that was God, man, because he felt, I was praying about it. I was like, can you take care of this for me? I'm really stressing this. I don't like where I'm at. I've not even saved like I was able to last year. And sure enough, everything that I need to assure that I can secure my room was inserted into that thing today. And so that's just like the type of blessing that I was really thankful for. Just telling God how appreciative I am of that just little glimmer of hope, as I feel like I've been working very hard, but it's not really going anywhere, you know what I mean? And it's not supposed to. When you don't do certain things to promote yourself or look to try to, make money, of course you're not going to make any. And because of how I'm wired, and because of how my living circumstances is, because I'm just a lot of different things, which is where I'm positioned in the world, and with what it is I understand, I don't really want to work. I don't want to pay into this country right now. I don't want to play this financial game. I feel like there's a lot of evil wrapped up into that, and we're forced to play this game, and I'm trying to get around it for as long as I can, if I'm being completely real with everybody, and have been feeling this way for a long time. I don't want to help America, Israel, commit genocides with tax money. I think it's my responsibility with how I'm positioned in this world, try to avoid that to the best of my ability, at least for the time being, until the Lord changes my mind. You know what I mean? Until things get better, or until capitalists not necessarily even think like that anymore. And I think I've been doing a great job of trying to stand on the outside of capitalism, deferring some of that to the Lord. You know, it's a Bible verse my mom often reads. I don't remember exactly where it was at, but the premise of the verse is essentially saying the Lord takes care of the birds, the Lord takes care of, you know, the animals. Why are you worried about him taking care of you? That type of thing. And I've kind of taken that into a literal sense in how I operate. I carry that in a different way to, like, I'm not going to play this game with people. I'm not going to play the capitalistic game. I'm not going to pay into genocide while this country has people working so hard to ultimately get nowhere. I'm using what it is that's afforded to me, trying to be very productive in the things that I'm passionate about, while trying to ignore all of that completely to the best of my abilities. So we'll ignore all of that. And in doing so, I find that I've taken some losses, but I also look up and realize I haven't needed to. With what the Lord has afforded me, with what help has come from my uncle, with what help is available to me in my environment, with the fact that I have invested in money in days like these, invested in things, my money in things, and days like this come around, I've realized, and I've woke up to realize, that I have been able to kind of stay outside of capitalism, which is really something that this thing isn't designed to allow you to do. It's not something that lasts forever. I don't think you can do this forever. I don't think that I've done this alone. I've had a lot of help. But my intention is to live with what comes with that help, rather than to pay into this machine while it's committing genocide and while it's aligning with people who are doing so. Now, I made this decision well before I understood about a genocide. I made this decision when I was more or less in a bad space of mind because of the idea of working it just way too far upon my head, understanding how corrupt things were in the stock market. And you guys know that story. Investing my money in AMC and then it not going anywhere, thinking it was going somewhere, in the psychological way down, like the psychological extras of the situation weighed down upon my soul in such a way that just kind of had a mental breakdown. Then I became aware of the genocide well after that. But I had long stopped working at that point. But it was just the understanding that I did not want to contribute to this. Whatever this capitalistic thing was, I didn't want to contribute to it, while everybody else is, out of necessity, rushing around to try to make it. Trying to make money their God, or at least pay as much into that notion as necessary to raise to the top of the capitalistic totem pole. My attitude was, I reject all of it. I don't want any of it. I may want buying power in life to pay for things and to be able to, you know, compete. But at the end of the day, I didn't want what came with it as well, is to be so locked into it that you don't have any time to do what you love to do, or so locked into it that you allow your humanity to deteriorate, or so locked into it that you allow yourself to stay in uncomfortable, unhappy, and basically miserable spaces to accumulate wealth. I just reject the notion that I should have to do that. If God exists, if I believe God exists in the way that he does, then there should be a way for me to give the finger to all of that and still survive. And it's exactly what I've been able to do for at least a time. At least a time. When my mental health was suffering, I went through the idea that I could not work, believed that I could not work for the longest time after quitting my job in that horrible mental breakdown situation. Been trying to get these people to see things my way as it pertains to my mental health, and, you know, give me SSI so that I can, you know, continue to stay on the outside of capitalism and all of its evil, and while still making a way for myself to do what it is I want to do. Living well below what would normally be my means, just so I could stay up out of it. They have not given me that SSI, and I've still been able to make it somehow with the help of all of who've helped me. My uncle especially, grandfather, rest in peace. They've kind of carried me through this, and I've deferred a lot of that to them so that I could do this. And if somebody will help me pay my way, I won't pay into genocide. If somebody will give me money, I won't go out here and make it my God trying to earn it. Sin one way, sin another way, you know what I mean? It's all sin at the end of the day. Deferring the sin off to somebody else to pay your way. Counting on a helping hand when you have two strong ones to lift for yourself. That was the sin and the burden of my existence over the last several years. I knew that I was a capable body. Didn't feel always like a capable mind, but I knew I was a capable body. I knew I could get out here, work, pay taxes. I knew I could. But I also knew that if I did that, I would be paying right into the devil's hands, just like 99% of the rest of us living in this Western world. And I just wanted to defy the devil for as long as I could in that regard. And I pulled it off. I pulled that off. It doesn't mean that I didn't feel like my mental health was in a bad space to which I was frauding the government or what have you. I wasn't. Still ain't. I believe that if I would have continued to work, I probably would have killed myself. I actually believe that. But I also believe that if I didn't have these helping hands, I probably would have went out there and gave it a go anyway. If I didn't have all these avenues that I found to help take care of those things so that I didn't have to, that I wouldn't have stayed out here on the street and just laid down like a lot of people are forced to with their mental health circumstance. I probably would have got out here and stayed in miserable spaces just like the most of us have to. And as a result, would have been contributing to genocide, just like most of us have to. I want all of those who follow me to understand that I don't blame you. I speak of positioning because I'm in a certain position. I believe I am. I have help. I can live below my means. I can go without certain things. I've never had a lot, never needed a lot. I stay in isolation, so I'm not influenced by a lot. I don't have people telling me you better have this or else you better have that. Or you're weird because you don't have this or don't have that. I can stay away from all of that. I'm able to keep peace in spaces that you would not be comfortable with in the presence of your friends and your family who are encouraging you to be active in this capitalist society. I've isolated myself so that I can create the culture of being able to live without all of that and still sleep comfortably, and I do. It's not something I expect for you to be able to do. Lord, let alone hold you accountable for not. Or for what have you, whatever your choices are. But I'm telling all of you, that is through faith in God that I believe that I can defy what is impossible to defy so that I can stay on the right side of history as it pertains to this colonial nonsense that this country and its allies are trying to engage in. From within your position, you may not be able to do what I'm doing, but you can do something to defy this thing. You have to. It's your responsibility. It's essentially what I'm telling you. In your own way, from within your own position, you have got to defy this damn thing because it's going to continue to pass forward these practices to others for the rest of its existence until some generation does what's necessary to weed it out of their lives. And it starts with examples such as mine, where we just took it upon ourselves to use whatever we could to defy it, despite it being literally considered impossible to do so. I'm not passing forward the same practices of genocide that were placed upon the natives, upon my people, and upon these Palestinians right now. I'm not passing that forward. You will have seen me try my very best to assure that I did not do what was forced upon me, forced upon everybody around me, to pay into this thing, to do what they needed us to do, to assure that they stay wealthy. I did whatever I could from within my position for as long as I could to stay out of all that. And while they were killing kids, I was doing everything I could to assure that I wasn't paying for it. That's not something I'm ashamed of. It's actually something I'm proud of. It's not something many American people can say they were able to do without being homeless. And so I want to tell all of you guys, man, now that we're getting deeper into this relationship with Israel as a country, and they're trying to make it so that our governments are merging and things like that, our armies and our militaries are supposed to be merging in 2027, all these different things. I'm telling you, you have to defy what keeps this thing going, or else they're going to continue to push this upon as many people as possible until the world is exactly what they want it to be. And we know the methods they use are going to cost us a lot of our loved ones' lives. We know that. If we're paying attention to what they're doing, we know that. The world that you know, where your army and your cops only attack people of color randomly and all of that shit, is over. White is the new N-word if you ain't figured it out. Everybody's a goy at this point under these people. Everybody. All of us. We're going to all be attacked in the street. We will not have the right to protest. We will not have the right to do this and that. They will look at some of our neighbors and see them as conquerable. Okay? This is what I've learned from behavior that are shown to me by people who repeat patterns of behavior. This is important. This is very important. Zios repeat patterns of behavior. Everywhere you look, they're doing the same stuff that they did one place somewhere else. And so what I'm telling you is, if their intention is to merge our militaries, then they're going to take the practices that they engage in with the IDF and they're going to do it on our borders. That means South America, Mexico, Canada, Hawaii. You can expect that they're going to want to create the greater US of A in your town, in your country. You can bet Israel, America's alliance, is going to want to take all of that. All of it. And that don't mean having people from your representative countries governing the places like they allowing you to have right now with a Jewish Mexican person at their presidency and another Milikowski over there in Argentina. No, we're talking about one president, one banking system for the entire thing. And if they sense any resistance, they're murdering your children. They're going to kill you. They're going to leave all of y'all under rubble. I cannot stress this enough. These people repeat patterns of behavior, and we've seen what they're doing in Palestine. We're seeing it. And I haven't heard a single soul say this. I think I'm the only person I've heard of in this conversation that has said exactly what I'm saying. There is no reason to believe that they won't look to genocide Canada and South America and Mexico. There's no reason to believe they won't. Because they repeat patterns of behavior, and if they have access to military, they're going to behave like the IDF. Any of these neighborhoods in America, if y'all ain't complying, all of that, these people kill to get what they want. They enforce psychological warfare on the minds of people to get what they want. You think what's going on in New Jersey is just and what happened in Minnesota and what happened out here with ICE is where it goes? No, that's the beginning stages of patterns of behavior that we've already seen in Palestine/Israel. We know. If you've been paying attention to these things closely as I have, you understand what I'm saying is true. They repeat patterns of behavior. This is not somebody who's going to go about doing things differently. If it worked over here, it's working over there. They're trying to take over the world. And it's not enough for them to have control. They want it to be exactly what they want it to be. They want it to be all Israel. All, the whole world, Israel. Not just the Middle East, not just what they're building is greater Israel. That hunger expands and those behaviors are repeated. And they're trying to find universal compliance so that they can implement what they feel is necessary and normal. And they want the world, the entire world, not just the Middle East, not just the area of greater Israel. They want the entire world. And if you show them they can build greater Israel, they're going to implement those intentions to the rest of the world. The devil's ambition knows no end. And that's what I'm trying to get people to understand with this video. The devil's ambition knows no end. If you tell him he can have some, he's going to want all. And if you show him you're willing to lay down to allow him to have it, he's going to expect everybody around you to do the same thing. And our generation specifically has been absolutely and utterly irresponsible in regards to allowing this behavior without proper urgency and resistance. We have allowed them through their psychological means to keep us docile, keep us standing still, keep us distracted, keep us afraid, and ultimately keep us ineffective in stopping them from doing this elsewhere. And I won't be a part of it. I've seen too many martyred children in this genocide to be a part of it. My mind detects these patterns too well for me to be silent. I'm too intelligent to roll over. ICE is not the end. That's not where this ends, bro. This ain't about sending people who were here elsewhere. It's about making this thing exactly what they want it to be. Not just here, but everywhere. They want to push their poison, their racist supremacy everywhere, bro. And if you let them have that much power, the evil only spreads. The ideologies and the extremism only becomes more extreme. They're going to want everybody to be Jewish. They're going to want everybody to worship the Talmud. They're going to want everybody to sacrifice everyone to Baal, and they're going to demand that compliance. They're going to have everybody doing this weirdo pedophile shit. The more knowledgeable you become about who's governing you in this regard, the more understanding you have to the responsibility of your rebellion. Otherwise, our kids will be their slaves. And I'm telling you right now, these people are pretending like God does not exist. He does. And if we fail in this way, I don't know that this thing continues to spin. I'm just being honest with you. I don't know that he don't just send something down and just wipe this thing away, man. On some Noah's Ark type stuff. If they were able to take over the whole world, there's really no reason for him to keep it spinning. We're being tested, man. And if we don't understand that through that lens, then I guess that's what my voice is here to help recommend you understand. That we are being tested. We're not just in danger. We are being tested. How selfish and how worldly are we to the point where the devil is going to do all these evil things in front of us and we ain't going to show no resistance? Do we have that little faith in God? Oh, ye a little faith? Do we have that little faith in God that we would sit here and watch these people take over this stuff in the name of racism? And worse, and devil worship? That we will comply to them, that we so connected to the dollar and so connected to this short-term financial, pattern of doing things that we're going to allow these people to really just basically spit in God's face in every way imaginable going forward. There are a lot of people who don't believe in God and they don't understand that the people who are doing this definitely hate him. There's something to hate. Essentially what I'm telling you, for those who don't believe in God, the powers that be, they're fighting with him. Or at least they're trying to. So if he don't exist, why are they going out of their way to do everything that he tells them not to do? Why is he going out of his way to attack and take over the lands of people who worship God so much? If there's no interest in God being real, then why are they at war with it? And it's a question I have with to the world. And if you're learning what I'm learning, and you know these people are at war with God. You know this. You don't question this, you know this. You see the behaviors, you see the patterns. You see how ridiculous they are when it comes to conversations about Jesus Christ and conversations about Allah. You know they're at war with religion. And I tell you like this, patterns of behavior continue. When you're dealing with them online, if you're doing something right, their bots are going to attack you. If you're no threat to them, they're about to leave you alone. That's a repeated pattern of behavior. If something doesn't harbor any threat to them, they don't turn their attention to it. If something doesn't harbor any concern to them, they're not wasting their time over there. It's the same pattern behavior you see in the stock